Hello my dear friends, in this video we will learn about the second law of thermodynamics. So now the first question come in our mind that if there is a first law of thermodynamics, so why we are bothering about the second law of thermodynamics? That means why we are going towards the second law? Already we have a first law, but why we are going to a bothering about the second law? See, such type of question we will discuss in this video. So as we know that the first law of thermodynamics is concerned about the conservation of energy principle. What is the energy principle? The energy principle is that energy neither be created nor be destroyed. It will just simply convert from one system to another system, yeah, one point to another point. So when we think deeply to this statement, so we can say that energy will convert from one system to another system, or same energy will convert from other system to one system. So the energy conservation gives the quantity, that means that is convert in either of the direction. So it is not gives the direction in which direction the energy will more efficient. So such type of conservation, that means to process involve closed and open system. We already seen that the conservation of energy will apply for closed system and open system, right? Therefore it is reasonable to conclude that process must satisfy the first law to occur. That means any process which is happening in the nature will satisfy the first law of thermodynamics, and no process is known to have takes place in the violation of the first law of thermodynamics. So that we know that already all the process that will occur in the nature that will occur will be according to the first law of the thermodynamics. So it never the violate the first law of a thermodynamics. But there only the first law of a thermodynamics, it does not satisfy the first law alone to does not ensure that the process will actually in takes place or not. That means the first law of a thermodynamics only says that the conservation of energy, that means the energy will convert from one system to another system, yeah, one point to another point via a process, and also say that it will convert from 2 point to 1 point via a process. But that via energy conversion 2 to 1 via process, that process will actually happening or not, this type of information doesn't give by the first law. So satisfied the first law alone, so what we conclude that by satisfying the first law, by satisfying the first law of thermodynamics, that means a conservation of energy does not ensure that the process will actually takes place, how? There is a question mark. See, we see some example like here. See, we know that there is a, with your common experience, there is a hot coffee, cup of a hot coffee placed in a room, placed in a room. There is a cup of hot coffee there is a hot coffee, right? There is a hot coffee and this is surrounding. If this is your take a system, if this is your take a system, this is your take a system. So this is your surrounding. So from the hot coffee, there must be a transfer of heat from the system to the surrounding. There must be transfer of heat from the system to the surrounding, or surrounding to the system. Conservation of first law. That means the hot coffee will lose energy to the surrounding, and surrounding also lose energy to the hot coffee. But it is happening or not? No, it is not happening. Why? Because see, hot coffee have a high temperature, so it loses energy to the surrounding, right? And it is lose up to when the surrounding and hot coffee will come into equilibrium. So the hot coffee will cooled when it lose energy by the surrounding. Whether it is hot, the same heat will take from that surrounding, it is not happening. That means it is a common experience that a cup of hot coffee left in a colder room, eventually cools off. So hot coffee eventually cools off. This process satisfies the first law of thermodynamics. Why? Because energy will lose. Since the amount of heat loss by the coffee is equal to the amount of heat gained by the surrounding air. That means amount of heat loss from the coffee is equal to the amount of heat gained by the surrounding air. Now this is okay, no problem. Now if we think, now let us consider the reverse process. This is process number 1, and if you think about process number 2, this is for process 1. If you think about process number 2, that means a reverse process. What you have concluded that? The hot coffee getting even hotter and hotter in a colder room. That means this is a hot coffee. The hot coffee getting hotter and hotter. If it will taking from the surrounding to the system, the hot coffee will hotter and hotter in the colder room as a result of heat transfer from the room. That means when the heat transfer from the room, the hot coffee get hotter and hotter. We all know that this process is never takes place, right? Yet doing so, we would not violate the first law of a thermodynamics. Second process will happen. First law thermodynamics, what is the energy is lose, same energy will gain. And what is the energy will gain? That energy will lose from the hot coffee, and hot coffee will gain its energy. So energy will convert either in this side to this side, or either this side to this side. So this is the energy conservation. But if the convert energy from colder room to hot coffee, it will never possible. With your intuition, you can say that it is never possible. But conservation of energy, both in both directions, the conservation of energy is satisfied. That means first law will satisfy. But though their first law is satisfied, but process will not happening. Though their first law will satisfied, the process will actually not happening. So by satisfying the first law of thermodynamics doesn't ensure that the process will actually takes place, right? So the first law will satisfy. So there is a some gives the misinformation that okay, first law is okay, energy will conserve, this is always okay, no problem, when the process will execute the energy will conserve. But the energy will conserve, that is not ensure that the process will taking place or not. Process will takes place. If the process, if process will takes place, energy, first law is applied, first law applied, that means energy will conserve, will conserve. But it doesn't means that if first law is applied, that means energy will conserve, energy will conserve. It is not ensure that the process will actually takes place or not, right? This is your one classical example. Now if we see the second example, example number second, if you see the second example, example number second, consider a heating of a room by a passage of electrical current through a resistor. That means if you have a electrical resistor, that means if you have electrical resistor, right? So if you pass a current through a potential difference I, if you pass a current through a potential difference I, that means if this is your system, if this is your system, if you supply a current, that current will increase its internal energy, so its temperature will increase, so heat will release, no problem. Heat will release from the resistor system to the surrounding, right? So heating of a room, so room will heat, this is a room, right, by a passing of electrical current. So what is you do, we do a electrical work. While doing a electrical work, that electrical work converted into increase its energy, and that energy will develop, increase its internal energy, and that internal energy will develop its heat, and finally room get hotter and hotter. Again the first law will satisfied and dictate that the energy supplied to the resistor, that means energy W electrical, what is say that, that means energy supplied to the resistor, yeah, to the wire, energy supplied to the wire is equal to the amount of energy transferred to the room air as heat. That means W electrical is equal to heat supply to the room. This is the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, this is okay, no problem. Now let us attempt to reverse this process. Now if the same heat, if the heat will transferring to the resistor. If you same heat will transferring, that means it will come as no surprise that the transferring some heat to the wire, transferring some heat to the wire does not cause an equivalent amount of electrical energy to be generated in the wire. So if room will supply heat, if room will supply heat, it doesn't mean that the electrical energy will happen, so it will zero, so there is no any current, so the reverse process does not happen. So according to first law of thermodynamics, W electrical will convert it into heat. It is okay, it is okay. And also this is say that if the energy will conserve, so Q room, if room will supply the heat, we generate electrical energy. So in both direction, first law satisfied. But this process is never happening. The second process is never happening. So the first law, again the first law satisfied, it doesn't mean that the process is actually happening, right? This is the example number second. Now example number third. What is that? Example number third. Example number third. What is that? See, if there is a container in which this is your fluid, and if there is a paddle wheel churning the fluid, there is a paddle wheel and there is a load, right? This is your M into J. See, in this example, this is your fluid, viscous fluid. We take, this is our system, right? See, consider a paddle wheel mechanism that is operated by the fall of mass. The paddle will rotate as the mass falls, and this stirrer as a fluid within an insulated container. Stirrer, this is insulated. If you think that this is our insulated, this is our insulated tank, right? So when the paddle will rotate as when the mass will fall down, and stirrer starts a fluid within the insulated tank. So what is the result? As a result, the potential energy of the mass decrease. The potential energy of the mass decrease. Why? Because this is falling down, so potential energy decrease, and this potential energy decrease will convert it into internal energy of the fluid. Internal energy of fluid, which is increase, and this internal energy increase is with the accordance of conservation of energy. So if the potential energy decrease, internal energy will increase. So why? Because some of the potential energy is going into the increase its internal energy of the fluid. However, internal energy will require. Why? Because it is rotating. If this is your rotating, there is no any heat transfer. If there is no any heat transfer, so we know that Q is equal to delta U plus W. If there is no any heat transfer, so what is that? Delta U is equal to minus W. So it is decrease, falling down, so internal energy will increase. This is the first law of thermodynamics. But if the process is reverse, if the process is reverse, that means raising of a mass, reverse process, reverse process. If you think about reverse process, that means in a one process there is a potential energy will convert it into internal energy. Potential energy will convert it into internal energy. That means potential energy will decrease, increase its internal energy, increase its internal energy. Now the second process is that it will reverse that. It will reverse. That means if we increase the potential energy, if we increase the potential energy, if we increase the potential energy, that means if we weight will going up, if the weight is going up, the potential energy will increase, so that when the rising of a mass, the reverse process, that means rising the mass by transferring heat from the fluid. So if we transfer a heat, if you transfer heat to the fluid, that means if increase its internal energy of the fluid by transferring heat. So if we transfer a heat, that means if we heating the fluid, transferring the heat to the fluid, so if we heat will supply to the fluid, is there paddle will rotate so that mass will up down? Is there possible? No. If you supply heat to the fluid, is there potential will increase? No. Right? Why? Because if we release the mass, that means potential energy decrease, its internal energy will increase, so its final temperature will increase of the fluid. Right? Now in the reverse direction, if heat the fluid, that means temperature of the fluid increase, though there is a state point is same, the same temperature will achieve, but during that same temperature achieve, is there paddle will rotate? Is there paddle will rotate and mass will going up? No. That means the reverse process, that means raising of mass by transferring of heat from the fluid to the paddle wheel, does not occur naturally. So in all these three examples, first law is satisfied. So although doing so would not violate the first law of thermodynamics, that means if you doing so, the first law of thermodynamics will satisfy, of TD will satisfied, but the process is not actually happen. So what we conclude that? We conclude that it is clear from this three argument that the process proceed in a certain direction. That means process proceed in a certain direction, though there is a not in the reverse direction, not in reverse direction. So first law place no restriction on the direction of the process, right? First law will no restriction. First law says that simply it will convert, so it is not restriction to the direction. But satisfying the first law does not ensure that the process can actually occur. So what is that? So first law to identify whether the process can take place. So it is insufficient. That means first law gives the limitation And what is the limitation? It does not gives the information about the process will actually done or not, right? So along with that, it is so to satisfied that the process will done or not, we have to introduce the second law of thermodynamics, right? Second law. So we will later on the next video that the reverse process discussed violates the second law of thermodynamics. That means why energy conservation, but the direction will not. So this is the very simple example. So you can intuitively you can say that yes sir, this is not taking place, though there is a first law of thermodynamics, but there is a many such a complicated example that yes, in both directions the energy will conserve, but you cannot intuitionally show that the process will actually happen or not. So intuitionally you can judge that whether the process actually these are the all intuitions, so that you can say that. But other than this, there are many such as example that you cannot intuitionally show that the process will actually happen or not. So we will start in this next video that the reverse process discussed in above violates the second law of thermodynamics. The violence, why this violation? This violation is easily dictated with the help of property. That means the process will actually happening or not. The process will actually happening or not with the help of a property known as entropy. So with the help of entropy, we can say that the process will actually happen or not. So a process cannot occur unless it satisfies both first and second law of thermodynamics, right? So a process cannot occur unless it satisfied both first law and second law of thermodynamics. So for what? These are numerous valid statements of the second law of thermodynamics that two such statement present and discussed later on in this video, the in relation to some engineering device that will operate on a cycle. Now the use of a second law of thermodynamics is not limited to identify the direction of the process. The second law also asserted with the energy as a quality as well as quantity. That means we have discussed about quality and quantity as well as. First law concerned with the quality of energy and transformation of energy from one system to another system. So first law, what is this? That quantity of energy. First law say that quantity of energy. First law, quantity. That means how much work will transfer, how much heat will transfer, the quantity of the energy and transformation of energy from one system to another system, with no regarded to quality. So the second law says that quality. So quality is the major concern to engineers. This is very important for the engineers. What is the quality? So the second law provides the necessary means to determine the quality as well as degree of degradation of energy during the process. As we discuss later in this video, more of high temperature energy, that means more of high energy at high temperature can convert more work, though there is a same energy but at low temperature convert low energy. So more of high temperature energy can convert to work and thus it has high quality. So this is a high quality. The same amount of energy at low temperature of work is called low energy, low quality. Same energy will convert with a low temperature, high quality. Same energy, that means energy, it is quantity. Energy is a quantity. That quantity will depends upon quality, and we know that quality and quality will depends upon what is the at what. That means more of high temperature energy can be converted to work, and thus it has a high quality than the same amount of energy at a low temperature, right? So second law of a thermodynamics is also used to determine the theoretical limits of the performance of a commonly used engineering system such as heat engine. Also we are applying in the next video heat engine and refrigerator, right? I also preview that the second law is also closely associated with the concept of performance. What is the performance of the any system? And other thing, the second law defines the perfections of a thermodynamics process, and it can be usually quantify the level of perfection of the process. How will achieve the more and more perfection of the process? So one note point is here is that these all example number 1, example number 2, example number 3, these all example have what is that? One way. These are one way, not in the. So process occurs in a certain direction. Process occur in a certain direction and not in the reverse direction. Right? Number first. Number second is what that if there is a process, any process. See, this is very important. If there is any process will happening, this is the process. If there is any process, right? If there is any process, this process, if this is happening, so if this is your process will happen, and if there is a right, so this is your first law and this is your second law. What is the figure? It says that if their first law is satisfied, the process will happen. First law and second law both will apply, the process will happen. But if the second law is applied, it does not mean that the first law is applied. So the process will not happen. I repeat, a process that violates the second law does not mean that it violates the first law. The process will happening or not, it is dictated by the second law. But if there is a satisfied the first law, process will happen. We say that process will happen. So that process will actually happen or not, we satisfy the second law. But if the second law doesn't satisfied, it need not be satisfied the first law. But if the first law is not satisfied, the second law does not satisfy. So what we conclude that here, this is very important, I'm telling you. A process that violate the second law, that violates that second law, that means open the circuit, violate the second law, does not means that violates its first law. We conclude like that. This is your number A. And what is the number B? Number B is that process occur. Number B is that a process must satisfied both the first law, first and second law of a process must satisfy both first and second law of TD to proceed to for proceeding a process, both first and second law will satisfied. But the violation of second law, it doesn't mean that it violates the first law. Very important, I'm telling you, is very clear. So here is very confusion for many students, that if the process will happen, it satisfied first and second law. That means actual process is happen or not, it satisfied first and second law. But a process that violates the second law, it doesn't mean that it violates the first law. Okay? Thank you very much.